Welcome to the What's New at Action Lab Entertainment panel. My name is Kevin Freeman. I'm the president of Action Lab, and I wanted to introduce some of the other people who are here. We've got David Blanche, who is right behind me here. He's our creative director. Here on my left is Jason Martin, who's the president of our Danger Zone line, which is our show leaders line. We have quite a few creators here as well. Jeremy Dale for Skyward is here. We also have Jamal Idle, who's doing Molly Danger for us. Now on my left is Leah Hernandez, who's doing Garlics. I don't see Tony Guaraldi Brown. Is he here anywhere? No? So,
yeah, Frank managed for the cheeseburger.
Yeah. Here on my right is Neil Middleton, the creator of Vamplets. In theory, Philip Sevi is here. Is Philip here? He's here in the front row. He's the part of the team for First Hero, which we'll talk about in a little while. And the last on my list, as far as I know anyway, over here in the front row is Jason Trost, who is the creator and director of the All Superheroes Must Die. And he's always driving Smith. If there's anybody else I didn't have it on the list, and Dave probably knows who they are, so I apologize if I didn't have you on my list. Again, as we're waiting for the slideshow to get started here, and Dave is more than welcome to chirp in on here, I'd like to talk, just introduce Action Lab to you. I suspect a lot of you might not be quite as familiar with us. Action Lab was founded in October of 2010, and at that time there were a number of self-publishers who decided that they had some good ideas and they wanted to work together and decided to put together a line of creator-owned comics to be seen in comic book stores and try to put some quality stuff out there that really spans the line of genres. I mean, Action Lab, one of the things we pride ourselves on is that we don't pigeonhole ourselves in any one kind of thing. We don't do just superheroes or just horror or just kids book or just mature books. So we have a nice variety of things. So we did this imprint to bring quality of all types of comics. We wanted to freshen up, if you will, the comic book industry. Action Lab started with a Kickstarter to launch our first title, which was Fracture, which came out, when did it come out, Dave? I forget exactly the date.
October?
October 2010 is what I'm thinking about. It was very successful, and the rest, as they say, is history. We've grown considerably over the last 3 years. We'll talk about this a little more, but even last year, in our second year of existence, we ended up getting 2 Eisner nominations, which we were really proud about, and that really has paved the road for the future of this company, and we're really tickled to death with all of the creators who are here today, who are doing stuff, who have agreed to do stuff with Action Lab. So we are definitely humbled at all the creators who are on the panel with us. So how's the slideshow coming? Yay! So this is our logo. Those of you who haven't seen it, we like the double entendre of the logo. Action Lab, one of our things is creating comics, or better comics through science. So we have the science aspect. We also have a Labrador Retriever with a rocket strapped to his back. So he is the Action Lab, if you will. So David, I'll leave anything out with the origins of the company? Anything you want to add?
You teed me up pretty well already. We did get 2 Eisner nominations and 5 Cliff Awards for Princeless. I wanted to let you guys know. Princess is returning. It's going to be monthly all throughout 2014. We're starting with an introductory, we're reintroducing the first issue of the Eisner nominated series for $1. We got a lot of notoriety with the Eisners, but I think the book deserves a larger fan base.
Exactly. So we're releasing this Princeless Encore Edition is what it's going to be called. It's going to start in November. It's going to, as David said, the first issue is going to be $1, so it'll be a nice introductory price for people who haven't tried Princeless out. Then the 4-issue first series will be released monthly after that, and that will pave the way for Volume 3, which will be printed monthly immediately after the Encore Edition, and then Volume 4 will follow immediately after that. So we are on track for having Princeless being as monthly as possible. And Princeless, even though it wasn't our first title, it's probably our flagship title, at least at this point, and so it's something that we want to have out there every single month.
Right. So, for everyone that misses the series, you will not have to wait for much longer. We're also planning on doing an oversized hardcover Ultimate Edition, extra stuff, designs. It's going to be beautiful.
And those of you who don't know about Princeless, Princeless is kind of a girl empowerment story. It takes the traditional Disney fairy tale of the princess waiting to be rescued by her prince, turns it on his ear, on its ear, whereas our star in Princess gets tired of waiting. She decides to rescue herself. She befriends the dragon that has been guarding her tower, and then her and her dragon work together to rescue her sisters, who are also being held captive in other towers as well. So it's a really positive story. So what's up next, Dave? All right, up next we have Molly Danger, and I'm going to waste no time and pass the mic over to Jamal, and you can talk a little bit about Molly for us.
Okay, sure. Just to give you a little background on Molly as a character, Molly Danger is the world's most powerful 10-year-old superhero who's been 10 years old for the last 20 years. She is the protector of Coopersville, New York, and sleepy little upstate New York City, and for the last 20 years they've built their entire economy around Molly Danger tourism. She lives in the Molly Danger Museum and Gift Shop, otherwise known as the Molly Dome. She has a team of assistants who are regarded as Danger's Action Response Team, or DART, D-A-R-T. The thing about Molly as a character is she is super positive about who she is and about what she does, and she loves protecting people, but she's also sort of a princess in an ivory tower. She doesn't have a secret identity, and she doesn't really have any friends outside of DART, and everything that she knows about herself is what they've told her for the last 20 years. Is that she's an alien from another planet, that her ship crash landed. When she woke up from a coma a year later, she got these superpowers and immediately became this superhero. And since then, she's been protecting the city of Coopersville from a group of villains known as Supermechs. And the Supermechs are hard to describe. They don't work together. They're not really a team, per se. You know, we've got Medulla, who is a cybernetic being whose head, he replaced his head and put his brain in a jar. We've got Little Katie, who's a 4 foot tall caveman with giant hands and feet and a club, who's superhumanly strong and speaks in a monotone. You know, Slip Scott, who had his legs replaced, and now he's superhumanly fast. We've got Two-Fisted Tommy, who has giant cybernetic mouths for hands, and we got Bonnie Double, our shape-shifting diva, who is horrendously ugly but thinks she's the most beautiful woman in the world. And I basically came up with the idea for Molly about 10 years ago, before I started getting super busy with all the other stuff that I'm currently known for. Last year, I ran a Kickstarter to finance the production of Molly Danger, and I raised $50,000 to do it. And now I went immediately to Action Lab with no hesitation because I know these guys, I trust them. And we are, basically the plan right now is Molly Danger is a series of 9x12 hardcover European-style graphic novels.
Definitely come by the booth and check out the previews we have for San Diego Comic-Con. You'll see how beautiful it is and how much passion Jamal put into it. Last year, when we were just talking about it, he said, Dave, I got something, you gotta see it. And he pulls out his computer, and it's the script. And he sits me down for a half an hour and makes me read the whole first issue. He's so passionate about this book.
You'll also notice that it says Return of the Hero begins with Molly. Return of the Hero is something that we wanted to banner for all of our superhero books that you're going to see as the slides unfold. This is everything we love about comic books and everything that we want to see in comic books. And I think a lot of the stuff you're seeing in comics today, it's missing some of that heart. And as you can tell just by Jamal's description of it, there's a lot of heart in this book. So.
And if you don't know Jamal, and shame on you if you don't, he had a long-standing run on Supergirl. He's done stuff for DC and Image and a number of other imprints. He's a well-known person in the industry. We're just thrilled to have Jamal as part of the Action Lab team. So what's next for us?
Well, we're continuing Return of the Hero. We're bringing back Fracture. It's our flagship superhero title. It's our first book. We put out in 2010. They've upped their game. Chad and Sean Gadler, Chad Saccone and Sean Gadler really upped it. They've got a new color, Stinko Blankenship, and as you can tell, it's just big fun, big comics. I think you guys are going to dig it. And I don't mean to gloss over it, but we have a ton of slides and a little bit of time.
We want to get our
But great stuff, continuing the line of Return of the Hero. Same thing with Jack Hammer. We've got an ex-gumshoe who has turned detective, and as he's getting older, his powers are fading. And so he gives up being a superhero to become a private eye. Beautiful art, great crime noir stuff with a superhero twist. Really good stuff. Pirate Eye is kind of our genre masher. It's pirate noir, swashbuckling mystery stuff. It's about Smitty, an ex-pirate who goes from port to port solving crimes. So if you like Sherlock, I think, and Johnny Depp for some reason, I think you'll like Pirate Eye. We have been slowly releasing this book as a series of one-shots because we wanted to give the creators time to really put their foot in it and give us the best work. It is being collected. The first 4 issues will be collected at the end of the year. Skyward, Mr. Dale, would you like to speak to your book?
This is my book. This is Skyward. This is my new creator-owned series of action. It's an action fantasy about a boy named Quinn and his dog who, through a set of extraordinary circumstances, end up realizing that they jump into a much larger world than they ever imagined. Crazier creatures. He lives a pretty pastoral life in the middle of the woods at the beginning of the story, but by the end of the issue, you can see that he's going off in some pretty strange directions, and the reader is left pretty, he doesn't know the reader won't know where you're going as much as Quinn doesn't know where you're going. And that's one of the things I really like about it. And it's just a really nice all-ages action fantasy. I've always enjoyed books like Bone and Tellus or even Calvin and Hobbes. And I wanted to bring more of that, that kind of flair to maybe an action fantasy book. And that's what I'm doing here.
And not to name drop, but you were lining up crazy talent for these covers. I have no idea how you're doing it with Patrick Mandy, but
tease us with some of those names.
Luckily, I know a lot of the guys in the industry, and they've been able to donate their time with a lot of enthusiasm. And we're getting a lot of retailer incentive covers for Skyward coming in the next couple of issues. Starting with issue 3, we have Stefan Roux, an amazing illustrator, doing a retailer incentive cover for us. We have Mike Norton on the next issue, issue 4, who did a really great piece right there with the bird you're seeing there. That's Oscar and Jack. Issue 5, I believe, is Kari Randolph, and that was colored by Laura Martin, who is one of the greatest colorists in the industry, hands down. She's a member of my art studio here in Atlanta. And Kari has worked on TMNT. He's currently drawing Kara's Magic for Aspen. He's done a lot of stuff with licensed books. And he's a fantastic talent. I can't wait to see more of him.
now Skyward is kind of marking the growth of our company too. We predominantly publish series of miniseries, and there's a few business reasons why you do that. But with Skyward and with the growth of our company, we want to put everything behind it. It's our first ongoing series. Jeremy's track record is impeccable. And you work on what, G.I. Joe?
Yeah, I've worked on G.I. Joe, a lot of Image stuff, a lot of stuff for video games and some Marvel. The Marvel iOS game, for instance, Marvel Kapow, that just came out, I believe, last year. Yeah.
Bandlets. Gail, how are you?
Tell us all about it.
Tell us about you've come from outside of comic books. You're a toy designer.
Yeah, I've been bounced around. I've been in the animation industry, toy design, conceptual design. And Bandlets came about because there was the designer for Littlest Pet Shop and My Little Pony with Hasbro, and I started drawing babies drinking bottles of blood to make me happy. And what else can I say? And it just kind of evolved into a whole world and turned into Bandlets, the Nightmare Nursery. So we produced a line of plush, designer plush, vampire babies, werewolf babies, zombie babies, cyclops babies. But there was a big tale to tell, and this is the story about the Bandlets and the true homeworld of the vampires known as Boomvania, and it's a very different take on vampires, my lore. And I am a big fan of Edward Gorey and Charles Addams, the Addams family, so this is like, I say they're cute and cuddly, but rotten to the core. And this tells the tale of Destiny Harper, a 19-year-old girl who just feels like she's going nowhere, she doesn't know what she wants to do, and through some very strange, odd circumstances, she is transported into this world of Boomvania, is forced into being the nanny for the Nightmare Nursery. And from there, Destiny meets all sorts of crazy wild characters. Her best friend is Rasket, the stinkless stink bug. He's an outcast, he has no stink. So many crazy, crazy characters. And it's her tale and how she ends up getting involved with the babies. And they take a big bite out of her heart. And as the tale goes along, you'll discover more and more.
Yeah, and the artist for that is Amanda Coronado.
Yeah,
It's her
she's
first comic, and wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
I'm helping her with the scripts. We're
Dave's
working
great.
together, working on the scripts.
And you,
Bill Blankenship is
He's
coloring it,
killer.
and he's just in a masterclass. He's amazing. This is also going to be a series of oversized hardcovers. Not as big as Molly, Molly's the European size, but we're looking to get these out quarterly. And
I'll tell you what, Gail and I went to dinner last year, we met last year at San Diego Comic Con, and the product is on the table now, and had a good dinner, and we talked about what we love about creating stuff, and we started working together, and it just became apparent that we were all heading in the right direction. You gave me the story Bible, and the Bible itself was, I mean, literally like 20 pages long, and we just started working together on bringing the story out and breaking the story. It's come along well, really well.
I'm excited, and it came out beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. If you haven't seen the book yet, drop by our booth because it's
Yeah,
unbelievably
I
good.
mean, I've been working in the industry for 10 years, and this is the one thing that I freaked out about. I mean, literally, like this is my baby. It's not just my baby, and it's Gail's.
It's our vampire.
It's our
baby.
baby. So yeah, definitely owe it to yourself to go and check it out. It's brilliant, and if you haven't seen the plush line, wow.
Yeah.
We're here, we're here.
Little girls lose their minds.
That's great.
We have over 105,000 fans on Facebook, so go and like us on Facebook. Our core fan base is 13 to 24-year-olds, but the book is for all ages,
Absolutely.
and it's wacky.
Wacky fun.
So up next for us is the Garlics, and we're going to let Leah Hernandez talk a little bit about her project.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm a lifer comic. Actually, I love being a lifer in comics. Anyway, this came about, this used to about because I was writing an email to a friend one night, and I just come across the name of, I don't know, he's the publisher, Archie, or the chief editor. His name is Victor Gorelick. And in my head, I was mispronouncing that as Gorlick, and I'm like, ooh, that's a good name for a vampire. Then I was like, that's actually kind of disgusting. How about Garlics? And just in writing the email, and wow, see, when I talk, it starts to shake. This is ominous. Just in writing the email, I came up with the idea of this whole family. The mom's a butcher because, you know, who better to feed a family of vampires? And, you know, dad's very super elegant and kind of a gourmet. And I'm a big fan of Anthony Bourdain. Does anybody know who that is? Okay. So I was like, I cheated a little and called him Bourdain. And then I was like, okay, little sister. And she actually started out older. And then I realized, okay, you know, a baby. And I had never heard of pamphlets. And actually, side note, when they said, look, pamphlets, I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I'm like, guys, are you sure you want my vampire with the babies in it? Because this one's so cute. Anyway, and, you know, the slightly older sister, and then, you know, not only did I want to tell a story about the vampire family, but I realized vampires generally go hand in hand with gory, but I like not the idea of a vampire story so much, but the idea of a story of, you know, shapeshifters, which is what most of my writing is about one way or another, is shapeshifting. And then I was like, you know what, it'd be great if little sister was really little and she's in a family that's kind of traditional where the older siblings take care of the younger siblings, and that's what they do because your parents are running the store. And then I thought, now what if the little sister can change, but the big sister can't? And what if she can change and she's really powerful and she has, like most 1-year-olds, zero sense of self-preservation? And it's gotten less gag-oriented. Originally the gag was that every time her parents turned around, her sister is in water. She's in a dog dish, a yard sprinkler, the rain, a standpipe, the toilet. It starts out with her putting her sister in the toilet to save her life, and that's when mom walks in. Nobody believes her. But the big sister, she can't eat meat, and she can't shape shift, and she tells a lie about it that, you know, when her little sister turns out to be a shapeshifter, she's trying to tell her parents she told a lie about being a shapeshifter when she was young, and her parents never believe her now because she told this big lie. So they don't believe her little sister can either. So I thought, well, what do you do if you can't shape shift, but you like to draw and you want to tell stories about your family because you're having trouble? She's going to be a graphic novelist. And when I was about the age of this character, I'm having trouble at home, and I started to write a graphic novel called This is Dark and Lonely. And I'm running away with my dog. Me and dog running away, and it's dark and lonely. And so the book is her diary about her crazy family, drawn in kind of a hybrid graphic novel form. There's an exclusive here at San Diego Comic-Con. You can find it at table 2202, and along with the other books. And the first hardcover, it's going to be about 60 pages, will be coming out next February. And that's the long story about my home. And thank you for listening. Anyway.
We've got one more on the Action Lab list, and then we're going to move on to Danger Zone, and that's the first hero. And I don't mean to necessarily put Philip on the spot. You want to talk a little bit about the first hero?
Take my spot.
All right, the first hero is a real-world superhero action book. It's the brainchild of Anthony Rutgazer, who brought me on a couple months ago to do the art for this series. It's a really cool series. It takes place in a world where superheroes are real, well, superpowers are real, but the byproduct of manifesting powers is that you lose your mind and go crazy. So the government, to protect the safety of the people, enacts the Extra Human Task Force, which is a military group that takes out anyone that's got powers. And our hero is an army soldier whose powers manifest in Afghanistan, but he doesn't lose his mind. So he's the only hero in a world full of villains, essentially. But it becomes the question of what do you do? Do you go out and save people, but by identifying yourself as someone who has power, you make yourself enemy number one of the government? Or do you stay back and let other people suffer? So the morality tale of that comes into play. But that's just a quick description of the series that will be coming later this year.
All right, thanks, Philip. We're hoping for April or spring, or we've got our fingers crossed as soon as we can.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also covers are going to be by Lee Motor, who, if you don't know Lee, you should. He's worked with Ron Marley on Sheik. And he was also an old DC Legion
Superheroes, Wonder Woman.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
So great stuff there.
So up next for us is the Action Lab Danger Zone line, and the Danger Zone is our mature readers line, and I'm going to pass the mic over to the president of our Danger Zone line, Jason Martin, to talk a little bit about it.
Hello.